Can we be honest with each other for a second? Does the ghost of that World Series blown save still haunt your dreams? Or are you ready to turn the page and demand absolute perfection? Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We are sitting here in late January 2026, staring down the barrel of spring training, and there is a massive, uncomfortable elephant in the room that simply refuses to leave the Rogers Center. We need to have a very serious, very honest conversation about the ninth inning because the silence from the front office regarding a true closer is becoming deafening. You know the feeling, that sickening knot in your stomach when the bullpen door opens in a one-run game? That isn't just anxiety, it's deep-seated baseball trauma. And right now, despite a flurry of off-season activity and roster shuffling, the Toronto Blue Jays seem content to walk back into the fire with the same extinguisher that malfunctioned on the biggest stage last October. But is the front office actually done? Or is there one final, earth-shattering move left in the chamber that could redefine the American League East? We have to look at the cold, hard reality of the situation without the rose-colored glasses of fandom. The Blue Jays have been active, yes. They've retooled the edges, they've signed Tyler Rogers to give a funky, different look from the right side, but the question of the closer remains a murky, turbulent water that threatens to capsize the ship. We are talking about a team that just won the American League, a team that stood on the precipice of glory, only to watch Jeff Hoffman give up a game-tying home run in the top of the ninth inning of a World Series game. That is the kind of singular moment that defines careers and breaks franchises if not addressed immediately. Now, a new report from Blue Jays analyst Thomas Hall is throwing gasoline on the fire, urging the front office to stop settling for good enough and go for the jugular by acquiring Houston Astros star reliever Bryan Abreu. This isn't just a rumor floating in the ether, it's a desperate plea for stability from those who analyze the game daily. Think back to the legendary Blue Jays teams of the past, the ones that hang banners. The 1992 and 1993 squads didn't just have decent bullpens, they had absolute locks at the back end that shortened the game to 8 innings. When Dwayne Ward or Tom Hankey came in, the opposition knew it was time to pack the bags. Compare that certainty to the emotional roller coaster we witnessed last season. Jeff Hoffman, for all his undeniable talent and electric stuff, posted a 4.37 ERA in 71 games and blew 7 saves in the regular season before the postseason heartbreak. In the modern era of baseball, where analytics dictate that your closer needs to be a shutdown machine, a 4.37 ERA is flirting with disaster every single night. The suggestion to bring in Abreu is not just about adding depth. It is about changing the entire psychology of the late innings for the manager, the starters, and the fans. If the Jays enter 2026 without addressing this, they are telling the fan base that they are comfortable with the heart attack method of closing games. And frankly, after coming so close to the trophy, I don't think any of us have the cardiovascular endurance for another season of will he or won't he in the ninth. Let's deeply dissect why Bryan Abreu is the name on everyone's lips and why this specific trade scenario makes too much sense to ignore. We aren't talking about a reclamation project or a buy low candidate here. We are talking about elite high-octane dominance that translates to October success. Abreu is coming off a career year with the Astros where he didn't just pitch, he bullied hitters with a velocity and movement profile that is nearly impossible to barrel up. We are looking at a 2.28 ERA, a 2.39 FIP, and a 2.2 FWAR across 71 innings, numbers that scream elite closer. When Josh Hader went down with that shoulder injury, it was Abreu who stepped into the closer's role and looked like he had been doing it since birth, showing zero fear. He is a World Series champion from 2022. He knows the pressure of the big stage. He knows the blinding bright lights. Bringing a guy like that into a bullpen that already features Rogers, Lewis Varland, and Yimi Garcia transforms the unit from serviceable to lethal, creating a hydra-headed monster that shortens games dramatically. Now, look at the Jeff Hoffman situation through the lens of cold, calculated asset management and roster construction. General Manager Ross Atkins said back in November that Hoffman isn't married to the closer role, which is executive speak for we know we have a problem, but we don't want to hurt his confidence. Hoffman's stuff is electric, nobody denies that, but the home run ball was his kryptonite last year, and you simply cannot have a closer with a home run issue in the American League East where the lineups are too deep and the ballparks are too unforgiving. By acquiring Abreu, you don't necessarily have to demote Hoffman and crush his spirit. You create a co-closer committee, or better yet, you push Hoffman into a high-leverage setup role where he can thrive without the crushing weight of the final 3 outs. It creates internal competition, which breeds excellence. It tells the locker room that performance dictates playing time, not tenure or contract status. It allows the manager to play the matchups rather than being forced to use a struggling closer just because he has the title. Furthermore, the trade mechanics align perfectly between these two contenders. The Blue Jays have a surplus of outfielders, a logjam of talent that needs clearing to maximize value. The Astros, facing the potential loss of Abreu in free agency after the season and needing to retool their offense, might be looking for exactly what Toronto has to offer. It is the classic strength-for-strength trade that championship teams make to push themselves over the edge. Imagine a scenario where the Jays are up by 1 run against the Yankees in September at Yankee Stadium. Would you rather see a fatigued Hoffman battling the mental scars of the World Series, or a fresh Bryan Abreu who strikes out 25% more batters than he walks and suppresses home runs at an elite rate? The analytics department knows the answer. The fans know the answer. The question is whether the front office has the courage to pull the trigger on a deal that would cost them outfield depth, but potentially secure the World Series title that slipped through their fingers just a few months ago. However, we have to temper this excitement with the cold water of reality coming from the insiders who are plugged into the front office. Mitch Bannon of The Athletic has reported that the Blue Jays' heavy lifting is likely done, signaling a conservative end to the winter. He suggests that the pitching staff is essentially set and that, barring a massive surprise, the team we see now is the team we will see in Dunedin when pitchers and catchers report. This is the terrifying part of the off-season, the silence where hope battles pragmatism. If Bannon is right, and the Jays stand pat, they are gambling the entire 2026 season on the hope that Jeff Hoffman can mentally recover from a World Series meltdown and magically lower his ERA by 2 runs without any external push. That is a massive, potentially job-losing gamble for a team that is currently favored to win the AL again. It feels like buying a Ferrari engine and putting budget, worn-out tires on it. You might go fast, but you're going to crash in the corners. If the season starts and Hoffman blows his first save opportunity, the atmosphere at the Rogers Center will turn toxic immediately, and the media pressure will be suffocating. The patience of the fan base is at an all-time low because the expectations are at an all-time high. We are no longer happy just to be there. We aren't in a rebuilding phase. We are in the win now or bust window where every single decision is magnified. Every game matters in the standings. Every save matters for seeding. If the front office truly believes that a 2-win player upgrade isn't available, they aren't looking hard enough at Bryan Abreu and what he brings to the table. The difference between a 4.37 ERA closer and a 2.28 ERA closer is often the difference between a parade in November and a locker room cleanout in October, wondering what if. We have seen this story before, where a team is one piece away and refuses to pay the price only to regret it when the season is on the line. So here is the bottom line for everyone watching. The roster might look complete on a spreadsheet in the front office, but baseball isn't played on Excel. It's played on emotion, momentum, and trust between the pitcher and the catcher. Right now, the trust in the 9th inning is fractured, and it won't heal with hope alone. Acquiring Abreu fixes that instantly and sends a message to the league that Toronto is the predator, not the prey. I want to hear from you, the heartbeat of this franchise. Are you comfortable going into opening day with Hoffman as the undisputed closer, or do you think Ross Atkins needs to wake up and make this trade for Abreu happen immediately? Do you trust the current bullpen to close out a Game 7 against the Dodgers or Braves? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one of them because your voice matters more than the analysts. Smash that like button if you want a World Series ring, and subscribe for more unfiltered Jays coverage. Let's make some noise.